Before we get into it, let me show you some of the reviews people have left for the Apple AirPods Pro 2 on Amazon, because sometimes buyers just get it. 5 stars. Quote, put these in during Thanksgiving dinner. My uncle has apparently had strong opinions about the election for 3 hours now. I wouldn't know. 5 stars. Okay, 5 stars. Quote, the noise canceling is so good my kids have started leaving sticky notes on my forehead to get my attention. Parenting has never been more peaceful. Valid. 5 stars. Quote, I wore these at the gym and was so locked in I accidentally worked out for 2 hours. I am in pain, but I am thriving. Fair enough. 1 stars. Quote, 1 star. I can still hear my own thoughts. Did not want this feature. Please advise. 5 stars. Quote, my coworker has been talking to me for what I can only assume is a very long time. She looks passionate about it. Godspeed, Karen. Noted. 2 stars. Quote, 2 stars. The transparency mode is too good. I put them in to ignore my neighbors and accidentally heard something about a casserole dish I borrowed in 2019. Now I have to move. Respect. Alright, let's actually get into the Apple AirPods Pro 2 review. Here's something nobody told you about the AirPods Pro 2. The single biggest upgrade Apple made has nothing to do with sound quality. And if you're buying these for the wrong reason, you might be disappointed. Stick around, because this one's going to change how you think about these earbuds. Alright, quick verdict for those of you in a hurry. The AirPods Pro 2 are genuinely the best earbuds Apple has ever made. And for iPhone users specifically, they're probably the best earbuds on the market right now. Full stop. The noise cancellation is class leading, the fit is comfortable for long sessions, and the new features like adaptive audio are actually useful in real life, not just on a spec sheet. If you're deep in the Apple ecosystem and you've been holding on to the original AirPods Pro, this is absolutely worth the upgrade. If you're on Android or you want the best raw audio quality at this price point, there are better options. Okay, let's get into all of it. So the box is classic Apple, small, minimal, and somehow still feels premium when you open it. Inside you get the AirPods Pro 2 themselves sitting in that updated charging case, 4 pairs of ear tips in extra small, small, medium, and large, a USB-C to Lightning cable, and the usual documentation that nobody reads. Now, the case is where Apple made some quietly big changes. It's slightly smaller than the first generation, has a built-in speaker on the bottom for Find My Alerts, and there's a lanyard loop on the side which is either incredibly useful or completely pointless depending on your lifestyle. The case also supports Apple Watch chargers now, which is a genuinely smart move. The earbuds themselves look nearly identical to the first gen on the outside, which is either reassuring or boring depending on your perspective. Build quality feels solid. There's an IPX4 sweat and water resistance rating on the buds and the case, which is actually new for the case this time around. First impressions are very positive. These feel like a refined, thoughtful update rather than a dramatic redesign, and honestly, that's fine. Let's talk specs, but only the ones that actually matter in real life. First, the H2 chip. This is Apple's newest audio chip and is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It handles all the processing for noise cancellation, spatial audio, and the new adaptive audio mode simultaneously without killing your battery. Speaking of battery, you get 6 hours of listening time from the buds themselves with noise cancellation on, and the case adds another 24 hours on top of that. That's a meaningful improvement over the first generation. The active noise cancellation is rated to cancel twice as much noise as the previous AirPods Pro, and in practice that number actually feels accurate. More on that in the performance section. The new adaptive audio mode is a hybrid that blends noise cancellation and transparency automatically based on your environment, and it works better than you'd expect. Touch control has been upgraded too. You can now swipe up and down on the stem to adjust volume, which sounds like a small thing until you've used it and realize how much you actually needed it. And finally, the personalized spatial audio feature uses your iPhone's front-facing camera to map your ear shape and adjust the audio accordingly. It sounds like a gimmick, and when Apple first announced it, I rolled my eyes, but the difference is genuinely noticeable on the right content. In day-to-day use, these things are excellent. Pairing is instant if you're on Apple devices. You open the case near your iPhone and it just connects, no menus, no fuss. Switching between devices is mostly seamless too, although there's still the occasional moment where they stubbornly stay connected to your iPad when you clearly want them on your phone, and that gets old fast. The noise cancellation is where these really shine. I wore them on a commute, in a coffee shop, and on a plane, and every single time I was genuinely impressed. Road noise, conversation hum, airplane engine roar, it all gets pushed way into the background. Not fully silent, but remarkably close. Transparency mode is the best I've heard on any earbuds right now. It sounds so natural that you sometimes forget you're wearing anything at all. The adaptive audio mode, which automatically blends the two, is smart enough that I found myself just leaving it on all day. Call quality is strong. People consistently said I sounded clear even in noisy environments. Sound quality for music is warm and detailed with a slight bass lift that works well for most genres, though serious audiophiles will notice it's not the most neutral or analytical sound. But for the vast majority of listeners, it sounds great. 3 genuine strengths worth highlighting. Number 1, the noise cancellation is best in class at this price point. I've tested a lot of earbuds, and the AirPods Pro 2 consistently outperforms competitors like the Sony WF-1000XM5 and the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds in real-world environments. That's not a small claim, those are excellent products, but the H2 chip really does make a noticeable difference when you're somewhere loud and you just need the world to go away for a while. Number 2, the Apple ecosystem integration is unmatched. Instant pairing, automatic device switching that actually works most of the time, Siri integration, Find My support on the case, iCloud sync for your settings. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac, these earbuds just disappear into your life in a way that no other brand can replicate right now. And number 3, the fit and comfort for long listening sessions is genuinely impressive. The ear tip design creates a solid seal without feeling intrusive, and the earbuds themselves are light enough that after an hour you kind of forget they're there. For people who've struggled with in-ear comfort in the past, these are worth trying. Okay, real talk on the downsides because there are a few worth knowing before you buy. First, the touch controls are still finicky. The volume swipe is a great idea, but it occasionally triggers when you're just adjusting the fit or touching your face near the earbud. It's not a deal breaker, but it does mean you'll occasionally skip a track or spike your volume at a bad moment, and that's the kind of thing that adds up over weeks of daily use. Second, the sound profile won't satisfy everyone. Apple has tuned these for an enjoyable, consumer-friendly listen, which means there's a warmth and bass emphasis that can feel slightly muddy on complex orchestral music or highly detailed recordings. If accurate, flat audio reproduction matters to you, you'll want to look elsewhere. Third, and this is a real limitation worth flagging, these earbuds are genuinely designed around the Apple ecosystem. On Android, you lose adaptive audio, spatial audio personalization, seamless device switching, and most of the smart features. You're basically paying for premium hardware and getting a fraction of the software experience. If you're not fully in the Apple world, that gap between price and experience gets a lot harder to justify. Real buyers have a lot to say about these, and it's mostly positive with some entertaining exceptions. One reviewer wrote, "I put these in during a family holiday dinner and I could no longer hear any opinions about my life choices. 5 stars, would recommend to every adult with relatives." Another said, "The noise cancellation is so good that I missed my subway stop 3 times in the first week. Worth it." On a more helpful note, a verified buyer with over 300 helpful votes noted that the ear tip fit test feature in iOS settings was a genuine game changer for them. They'd been using the wrong size tips for months and didn't know it. And switching to the right size completely transformed the noise cancellation performance. That's actually a great reminder. If you already own these and the ANC feels underwhelming, run the ear tip fit test before you make any judgments. It takes 30 seconds and it genuinely makes a difference. Overall, the buyer sentiment is strongly positive, with the most common complaint being the price, and the most common praise being the noise cancellation and fit. Here's the bottom line. Buy the AirPods Pro 2 if you're an iPhone user who wants the best overall earbuds experience available right now, specifically if noise cancellation, comfort, and seamless device switching are your top priorities. These are the ones. Skip them if you're on Android, if you want a more audiophile-tuned sound signature, or if you primarily use earbuds for one device and don't need the ecosystem integration features. In that case, the Sony WF-1000XM5 or Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds might serve you better for similar money. For everyone else living in the Apple world, these are about as good as wireless earbuds get right now. So what do you think? Worth it or skip? Drop your answer in the comments below, especially if you've made the jump from the first-gen AirPods Pro and want to share whether the upgrade felt worth it. If this review saved you some time or helped you make a decision, hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel. And subscribe if you want a new honest review every single week. See you in the next one.